In Mark 10:46-52, we find the story of the healing of blind Bartimaeus. They came to Jericho, and as he and his disciples, that's he, Jesus and his disciples and a large crowd were leaving Jericho, Bartimaeus, son of Timaeus, a blind beggar, was sitting by the roadside. Now, a couple things here to keep in mind is Mark is usually brief and to the point. They came to Jericho. He didn't tell you what happened in Jericho, just that they came to Jericho and now they're leaving. And we have Bartimaeus, a blind beggar, sitting by the roadside. Frankly, in those days, that's what blind people did. They really had not a whole lot of use for them. In fact, we'll find later that he was able to see earlier, and many people would have thought that he did something to offend God, that he's now blind. But he's sitting by the roadside. And when he heard that it was Jesus of Nazareth, he began to shout out and say, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Many sternly ordered him to be quiet. Again, because they don't have a whole lot of use for him. God has struck him blind, apparently. We don't know that. Mark didn't tell us that. But typically, that would have been the belief in that time. And even today, we have people that think, what did I do that I'm now blind? Or what did I do that I have this illness? What did I do? And the answer is absolutely nothing. It just happens that way. Earlier in a different story, the disciples asked, why is this blind man blind? Was it his parents or something he did? Jesus' answer is neither. He's on to explain some more things, but his answer was neither. And there was a time in my life, I wore contacts, hard lens. I wore them too long one day. When I popped them out, my eyes were damaged. There were tears around the center of my eyes. And when I went to get health care, the questions were asked, what's his name? And I answered it. What's his address? And I answered it. Notice, they didn't ask me my name, didn't ask me my address, didn't ask me my age. But frankly, I had to tell the person next to me what my birth date was because they didn't know it. They were just taking me to a med check. The med check people assumed apparently that if you can't see, your brain doesn't work either. But here we have this man, and they order him to be quiet. But he isn't quiet. He cries out even more loudly. They said, he cried out and shouted before, now it's even more loudly. Son of David, have mercy on me. And if you can imagine Jesus in a crowd leaving Jericho, and all of a sudden Jesus stood still. He stopped right in his spot and said, call him here. And they called the blind man, saying to him, take heart, get up. He is calling you. So throwing off his cloak, he sprang up and came to Jesus. Then Jesus said to him, what do you want me to do for you? The blind man said to him, my teacher, or in Aramaic, it would have been Rabboni, or rabbi. Let me see again. So again, this again, he has seen before, and he knows what he's missing. The sights, the opportunities. He's a beggar. He probably wasn't always a beggar. Jesus said to him, "Go, your faith has made you well." Immediately he regained his sight and followed him on the way. So this man, he follows Jesus immediately. He knows what happened. But Jesus doesn't take credit for this. He doesn't, look what I did. Jesus says, your faith has made you well. In one statement, Jesus restored dignity and respect to this man who before was hushed and quieted and forced to beg on the roadside. But Jesus, your faith has made you well, has given him dignity and respect. Every year at camp I talk about that. Everyone is due dignity and respect. You are, I am, everyone, your neighbors, everyone. We are unique creations of an infinitely wonderful God. And God don't make mistakes. You are due respect. Demand it. But that means you also have to give it. It works that way. Respect one another. Our world needs a whole lot of that right now. Your faith has made you well. Listen to those words again of Jesus, who heals the man, not only his blindness, but many, many other things about him. There's no doubt in my mind. Thank you.